Victoria, reports indicate that 10% of individuals with disability have experienced service refusals by taxis and rideshare drivers due to their disability. However, this issue is even more concerning amongst those with assistance animals. Some of these individuals report facing service denials or drivers leaving upon seeing the animal as frequently as 50% of the time. And while it is illegal for drivers to refuse service to a passenger with an assistance animal, often these drivers have some preconceived notions, which may deter them from wanting to accept these dogs into their car. So in today's podcast, we're tackling these myths head on, reminding drivers not only that these assistance animals are clean, well-trained and are allowed in their vehicle, but also emphasising to drivers their crucial role in providing equitable transportation for passengers with assistance animals. I'm Sam Connor. I'm passionate about access and inclusion. It's a great pleasure to welcome today Ashley and Vicky. And Ashley, can I get you to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name's Ashley. I run my own business. I play blind cricket in the Australian women's blind cricket team, and I'm very pleased to be here today.
Fantastic, thank you. And Vicky?
I'm Vicky and I'm a volunteer at Vision Australia as a peer worker, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Wonderful. And let's get into today's podcast. One of the biggest reasons that drivers have refused to transport assistance animals in recent times is that they believe all animals, including assistance animals, need to ride in Uber Pet. And this is simply not true. Yes, pets should go in Uber Pet, but assistance animals are not pets. These are well-trained animals that do not lick or bite, and refusing to take them in your vehicle is breaking the law. Vicky and Ashley, have you heard drivers use the Uber Pet line before?
Yes, I have. I've been told that she's not allowed here because she's a pet, and I don't take pets. And I said, but she's not a pet. She's a working animal. They still won't accept it. They, might close the door. Just either that or say, I'm not suitable to take any kind of dog anyway.
And Ashley, have you had that same experience?
Absolutely. Drivers are often mystified as to why they've been assigned my job. They sort of say, well, this is a pet. Why hasn't it gone in an Uber Pet? Why didn't you book an Uber Pet? Or you get the really argumentative ones that sort of go, no, I refuse to take your dog quite blatantly. Cancel the job and call an Uber Pet.
Do you think they don't understand that you're being assisted from the point of when you leave your home or from somewhere to your destination?
Yeah, no, they don't understand, and it takes a lot of education really to make people understand that these dogs help us, that they're there for a reason and they're highly trained.
And there's another myth that we've heard about, which is that all assistance animals need to be wearing identification. And that the truth is that some assistance animals wear identification, but others do not. As long as they're trained to help a person alleviate their disability, they're considered an assistance animal. If you're not sure which animal is an assistance animal, politely ask the passenger, is your animal an assistance animal? Ashley and Vicky, has a driver ever refused to take your assistance animal because they weren't wearing an ID?
Yes, even though the harness is a form of identification. I do carry an ID card, a Seeing Eye Dog ID card with me. I have it there always ready. Sometimes they accept that, but most of the time they won't.
They don't?
Because they just don't understand.
And Ashley, are you asked for ID with your dog?
Personally, I haven't really been asked for ID. We don't generally get that far. In the case of a refusal, it's not so much a discussion about whether my dog is wearing the appropriate harness or vest or whether I have the right identification on me. It's more the fact that my dog is a dog and the driver does not want to transport a dog.
And explain to us, what the dog needs to do to get that identification and to go through that training. It's not a case of you being able to pick up a nice Labrador and suddenly get it to take you somewhere, correct?
Absolutely not.
No, certainly, certainly not.
So there's a big process, isn't there, in training?
18 months.
18 months to train.
18 months training.
The process of getting a guide dog qualified is one of the most rigorous in Australia. It's an 18-month time investment and about a $70,000 financial investment. Throughout the training, there are many tests that a dog has to pass to continue through the program, and there is about a 50% fail rate for guide and seeing eye dog pups in training. At the end of that training, they have to pass what's called a public access or PAT test. If the dog fails that test, they are unsuitable for guide work. After that's complete, you then have the 3-week training period where the dog works with the handler. And at the end of that period, the handler and dog must be signed off as a working team. So it's really quite an extensive and rigorous process.
Even that end process, just working with a new handler, is quite extensive as well.
I'd really like a very expensive driver's licence to say that your dog is qualified to
Very
be assisting
expensive.
someone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Probably more expensive than a lot of the CPV vehicles out on the roads today.
And so with assistance animals are commonly recognised as a guide dog for people who are blind or have a vision impairment. However, under the law, what constitutes an assistant animal is evolving, and we now understand that the support required for a person with disability can come from a variety of animals supporting a range of people with disability. I know a person who has assistance macaws, the brightly coloured parrots as emotional support animals. Are you acquainted with this as well, that, this isn't a case of just dogs that assist people? Have you met any other assistance animals?
I've met a variety of assistance dogs, not only guide dogs, but hearing dogs, dogs that assist people with physical tasks and shaping behaviours like opening doors, things like that. As far as I'm concerned as a handler, as long as a dog has passed the public access test and behaves in a manner that is consistent with an assistance animal, it is not for me as a handler to question that person's right to be there and to be living their best life.
Fantastic answer. And another common line that drivers use to get out of transporting passengers with an assistance animal is that they have a dog allergy. We were just talking about this. Under the law, allergies for dogs isn't a legitimate reason for refusing a passenger with an assistance animal. Drivers who suffer allergies must always be prepared for any situations that may trigger their symptoms. Is that a line that you've both heard before?
Yes. In the first instance, I heard it. I had called a taxi from home, and he let me come to the window, and then he said, "I'm allergic to dogs." And then all of a sudden, the doors all locked. There was no way I could get in. He said, "I'm not letting you in," through this small opening in the window, and said, "I'm not letting you in." And this went on for a good 2 or 3 minutes, and in the end I said, "Okay, I'm actually going to cancel you and go back into my house and book another one." So I went in and reported him. And I got another taxi, and he got hauled over the coals because they had his name and number.
And what about you, Ashley? You've had the same experience?
Absolutely, many times. This is one of my absolute pet peeves, and the excuse really doesn't hold water for me for 2 reasons. Number one, I have an allergy to dogs and cats myself. My allergy is not a severe allergy that can be managed with things like antihistamines, regular vacuuming, and keeping my distance from those animals, which is a little hard, admittedly, with my own service dog. I think there are people who an dog or animal allergy is a genuine concern, but in those instances, a genuine allergy to an animal would mean that any person who had come in fleeting contact with that animal and then got into the vehicle would trigger that allergy just as much as myself and my service dog getting into their vehicle. People are also very welcome to go to an op shop, to buy a flat sheet to put down in their car to minimise the dog hair. and then to shake that out once I've left the vehicle. It's also contractually obliged of us as handlers to keep our dogs clean and well managed, to hold up our end of the bargain so that they can be in public spaces.
So what changes would you like to see in the industry?
A greater level of education by the rideshare providers themselves. Handlers are doing a lot of the labour and it needs to stop. The drivers, the rideshare providers need to take responsibility for their actions and see it as a joyful part of their job, allowing us to travel to work, to catch up with friends, to travel, to doing all the normal things that everybody is able to do when they're not travelling with an assistance animal. I want to do those things too. So does Vicky.
Yeah.
We just would like to go about our lives without having this issue cropping up all the time.
Without stressing.
And Uber Pet really does have a place, doesn't it? It's just not the place for, that your dogs really are your eyes,
Absolutely.
Correct.
Uber Pet is a wonderful service. It benefits a lot of people, particularly people in the disability community who don't drive. It is essential that their pets are able to access the care that they need. Our dogs are not pets. They are highly trained mobility aids. The other thing about Uber Pet is that it costs more money to book an Uber Pet. It's only $2 or $3, but those $2 or $3 add up, and that is a cost that I should not have to wear simply because I'm travelling with an assistance animal.
In concluding today's discussion, we want to reinforce a critical message to all drivers. Misconceptions about assistance animals should not dictate your actions. These animals are not just well behaved, they are impeccably trained, clean, and crucial for the independence of their owners. It's essential to understand that refusing service to a passenger with an assistance animal or choosing to drive away upon seeing one isn't just unfair, it's against the law. But recognising and accepting assistance animals is not just about compliance, it's about contributing to a more inclusive and accessible world. Thank you.